A trending video circulated online shows Biafran Liberation Army chasing Asari and Musa boys away, captured a fake Biafran Liberation Army member and seized his weapon. The video showcases Biafran Liberation boys confronting and driving away opposing groups led by Asari and Musa in a bush area. A person pretending to be a member of the Biafran Liberation Army was apprehended, confirming he was operating independently and engaging in criminal activities. The captured individual admitted involvement in kidnappings, including that of a reverend father, and identified others responsible for these crimes. The kidnappers reportedly collected N8 million as ransom, and the captured suspect detailed their methods and operations within a bush camp. General Christopher Musa and his forces were accused of crimes in Biafra land, with claims that their actions are being documented for future accountability. Meanwhile, critics have demanded the withdrawal of Musa's troops from Biafra land, questioning their presence while insurgency continues in the north. They assert that Biafra is now a sovereign nation, demanding Nigerian forces vacate their territory. The Nigerian government, including President Bola Tinubu, is accused of orchestrating attacks against Biafrans while ignoring greater security threats in the north. Claims are made that foreign governments, such as Canada, are recognizing the oppression in the southeast by denying visas to Nigerian officials. The critics warn of impending action against Nigerian authorities after a 60-day period, stating that Biafrans will not tolerate further oppression. I was casually browsing through online video platforms one evening when I stumbled upon a video that immediately caught my attention. It was not just any video, but one that showed events unfolding in real time in the bush areas of the region known as Biafra. In this video, I saw members of the Biafran Liberation Army actively chasing away two groups that had been referred to as the Asari boys and the Musa boys. The scene was dramatic, raw, and full of tension, and it made me realize that there is a side of this ongoing conflict that most people rarely see. The video opened with a view of men on patrol in a rugged, bushy area. I could tell from the way they moved and communicated that these were not ordinary civilians, but individuals who were deeply involved in what they believed to be a struggle for their land. They moved with a clear purpose, their eyes fixed on the horizon as if they were guarding something very precious to them. As the camera panned, I noticed a commotion nearby. A group of men, ostensibly a part of the local resistance, were confronting two other groups that seemed to be intruding into their territory. These intruders were identified as the Asari boys and the Musa boys. What struck me most was not just the physical confrontation, but the way the real members of the Biafran Liberation Army handled the situation. They did not hesitate to act when they discovered that one of the individuals claiming to be a member of the Biafran Liberation Army was, in fact, an impostor. The video captured the moment when this man, who had been causing chaos by engaging in criminal activities, was finally subdued. His weapon and other tools of his trade were seized, and it became clear that his actions were not sanctioned by the true fighters on the ground. The apprehension of this fake member was significant because it exposed the reality that there were people taking advantage of the situation in Biafra by masquerading as part of a respected movement. I must admit that watching the video stirred a mix of emotions in me. On one hand, I was relieved to see that the genuine members of the Biafran Liberation Army were vigilant and committed to maintaining order in their community. On the other hand, I felt a deep sadness knowing that there were those who exploited the struggle for liberation to commit acts of violence and terror. It was as if the true spirit of the movement was being tarnished by individuals who sought personal gain through criminal activities like kidnapping. The video went on to show an intense confrontation, and during this episode, one of the individuals who had been captured was taken aside for questioning. I later learned that he admitted his involvement in several kidnapping cases. One of the most chilling revelations was his confession about the abduction of a reverend father. The man detailed how his group, operating out of a bush camp deep in the forest, had kidnapped the reverend father and later demanded a ransom of 8 million Nigerian naira. As I listened to his testimony, I was struck by how methodical yet ruthless these criminal operations could be. His words painted a picture of a network of individuals who, under the guise of fighting for liberation, engaged in kidnapping and other violent acts that not only endangered lives but also threatened to undermine the legitimacy of the entire struggle. Listening further into the transcript of the video, I realized that the conversation was not only about the immediate capture of this impostor, but also a broader indictment of the situation in the region. The speaker, whose voice carried both passion and frustration, talked about the broader problem of criminality in Biafra. He explained that many of the individuals who ventured into the bush claiming to be part of a struggle were in reality operating on their own and engaging in illegal activities. It was clear that these criminals were not representatives of the true Biafran Liberation Army, but rather individuals who had taken advantage of the chaos to further their own criminal agendas. One of the most detailed parts of the conversation was the interrogation of the captured man. The interrogator asked him to explain how the kidnapping of the Reverend Father took place. The impostor described how he and his associates, who numbered up to 16 in total, had set up a camp in a remote bush area. He explained that they had carried out the kidnapping by ambushing the target and then forcing him into their vehicle. The man went on to describe how, after the kidnapping, his group had taken the Reverend Father to what they referred to as their office in the bush, a makeshift area where they planned their next steps. It was in this office that they would hold discussions about ransom and plan further criminal activities. As I absorbed these details, I began to reflect on the wider implications of such criminal behavior. Here was a group of individuals who had not only taken advantage of a volatile situation, but had also directly contributed to the destabilization of their community. The fact that they had chosen to operate under the pretense of being part of a respected movement like the Biafran Liberation Army made the situation even more complicated. Their actions were a betrayal of the trust that many people had placed in the real members of the movement. The captured individual even went so far as to admit that he had been working independently and that his actions were his own. This admission, though a small victory in exposing criminal behavior, raised many questions about the extent to which such criminal networks had infiltrated or, at the very least, tarnished the image of the true struggle for liberation. Beyond the immediate details of the kidnapping and the capture of the fake member, the transcript of the video was filled with strong language and impassioned pleas. The speaker was not merely recounting events, he was using the opportunity to condemn what he saw as a long-standing injustice perpetrated by various forces in the region. One of the key figures mentioned repeatedly was General Christopher Musa. The speaker accused General Christopher Musa and his forces of being responsible for numerous crimes in Biafra land. He argued that the actions of General Christopher Musa were being documented and would eventually be used to hold him accountable for his alleged atrocities. The conversation took a particularly fiery turn when the speaker began to address the issue of sovereignty and the question of who had the right to determine the future of Biafra. He insisted that Biafra was now a sovereign nation and that any Nigerian military or government forces operating in the area were unwelcome. The rhetoric was intense, and every word seemed to carry the weight of years of frustration and loss. It was as if the speaker was speaking not just for himself, but for an entire community that had been subjected to what he considered repeated acts of aggression and injustice. At one point, the speaker drew attention to the role of the Nigerian government in all of this. He accused President Bola Tinubu of orchestrating attacks against the people of Biafra, while ignoring what he described as far greater security threats in other parts of Nigeria. particularly in the northern regions. The speaker argued that while insurgency and violence were being reported in the north, the Nigerian government's focus was disproportionately fixed on Biafra, where he claimed there was no insurgency at all. Instead, the violence in Biafra was being driven by criminal groups masquerading as freedom fighters and by forces that had been deployed to oppress the local population. The criticism did not stop there. The speaker went on to mention that even foreign governments were beginning to take notice of what was happening in the southeast. He noted that the government of Canada had, in a symbolic gesture, denied visas to Nigerian officials as a form of recognition of the oppression faced by the people in the region. This was presented as evidence that the world was starting to see through the actions of the Nigerian government and was sympathetic to the plight of those who felt marginalized and oppressed in Biafra. Throughout the conversation, there was a palpable sense of anger and determination. The speaker's words conveyed a deep-rooted belief that enough was enough. He expressed the view that the people of Biafra had reached a point where they could no longer tolerate the continued presence of what he termed terrorist forces in their land. He demanded that these forces, which he associated with General Christopher Musa, and by extension the Nigerian government, withdraw immediately. His words were not merely a call for a tactical retreat, but a declaration of independence. In his eyes, Biafra had already been declared a sovereign nation by its people, and no external force had any right to interfere with its destiny. Listening to the entire narrative felt like being taken on a journey through a landscape marred by conflict, betrayal, and the desperate hope for freedom. I found myself empathizing with the speaker, even though I could not fully comprehend the depth of the historical and political complexities involved. His passion was undeniable, and his words painted a picture of a community that had been pushed to the edge by years of neglect, oppression, and violence. It was a community that was now standing up to demand respect for its sovereignty and a future free from the tyranny of external forces. What made the video even more compelling was the way it intertwined personal testimony with broader political commentary. The captured man's confession about his involvement in kidnapping, including the abduction of a reverend father, was not presented as an isolated criminal act, but as part of a larger pattern of behavior among those who had falsely claimed to fight for the liberation of Biafra. His admission that he had been working independently, without the approval or support of the true members of the Biafran Liberation Army, was used to underscore the message that the real fighters were not the criminals who tarnished the name of their movement. This distinction was crucial for the speaker, who maintained that only the genuine members of the resistance were committed to defending their land and people. At one point in the video, the interrogator pressed the captured man for more details about the kidnapping operation. The man described how his group, numbering up to 16 individuals, had set up a temporary camp deep in the forest. He recounted how they had taken the Reverend Father to a location they referred to as their office, where they had held discussions about the ransom. He mentioned that they had collected 8 million Nigerian naira from the Reverend Father's family. His tone was matter-of-fact, as if he were describing a routine transaction, yet the implications of his words were disturbing. It became clear that such operations were not anomalies, but were part of a recurring pattern of criminal behavior that had become all too common in the region. The interrogation did not end with just the details of the kidnapping. The speaker used the opportunity to cast a broader light on the situation in Biafra. He questioned why individuals like the captured man would resort to such methods, and who, if anyone, was being held accountable for the violence that had been unleashed on the innocent people of the region. His tone was one of disbelief and sorrow as he recounted the many instances of violence and injustice that had been inflicted on his people. He lamented that while there was a clear need to address the threat posed by criminal elements, the real focus of the government and military forces had been misplaced. Instead of protecting the citizens and ensuring justice, They had allowed opportunists to thrive and had even, at times, collaborated with those who were responsible for the violence. The conversation soon shifted back to the broader political context, and the speaker's language grew even more impassioned. He began to issue strong warnings to those he held responsible for the suffering in Biafra. One of the names that recurred with increasing frequency was that of General Christopher Musa. The speaker accused General Christopher Musa of being at the center of the atrocities that had been committed in Biafra. He argued that General Christopher Musa's forces were not there to defend the people, but to further a political agenda that had led to the oppression and even the killing of innocent civilians. His words were laced with anger and indignation, as he recalled how General Christopher Musa had been seen as a protector by some, but had, in reality, become a symbol of brutality and injustice. The critique extended beyond just the military leadership. The speaker also targeted the Nigerian government as a whole, including its highest-ranking officials. He argued that President Bola Tinubu and his administration had orchestrated attacks against the people of Biafra while deliberately ignoring larger security challenges in other parts of Nigeria, particularly in the north. In his view, the government's actions were not driven by a genuine concern for national security, but were instead a calculated effort to subjugate a region that had long been marginalized. The speaker's anger was palpable as he denounced the selective nature of the government's military operations. He insisted that there was no justification for deploying heavy military equipment, such as helicopters and rocket launchers, in a region that, in his words, had no active insurgency. Instead, these forces were being used to target the local population, further deepening the wounds of a community that had already suffered so much. One of the most striking aspects of the video was the way in which the speaker addressed the issue of international recognition. He pointed out that foreign governments, including the government of Canada, were beginning to take notice of the situation in Biafra. By denying visas to Nigerian officials, these governments were sending a clear message that they did not condone the actions of the Nigerian government in the southeast. This international dimension added a layer of complexity to the already heated debate. The speaker used this point to argue that the world was starting to see through the facade of the Nigerian government's narrative, and that the plight of the people in Biafra was finally receiving the attention it deserved.
Yes, Jason! Jason! Biafrans, you can see how the men on ground are doing their work. Ha na-achụ ndị iro, na-achụfu ha n'ọhịa. Ndị bịara ka ha busisie ndị bai si na ha na-azụ efi. Now efi ka ha na-azụ, bịa busisie ndị bai. So you can see that the men are on duty 247. Some people thought that men no longer there on board, but I can assure you, with this ihe onyonyo eforo kita, ihe we mara na men nọ n'ọrụ 247 mgbe ọbụla ha nọ n'ọrụ.
Come. Gather. Yes, the men are doing the needful this night. I ain't afraid not pick face to face. You should do now. How about it again? Fulani must go. Ceasefire. Fulani must go. Wait. See.
Okay, now you can see this particular video. This is one of the problems we have in Biafran land. So many people who enter the bush in the name of struggling, why they are into kidnapping, into a lot of atrocities. Thank God that he was fished out, and thank God that he didn't say that he is a member of Biafran Liberation Army or a member of IPOB. Thank God he admitted that he is just on his own. They are the ones that has been terrorizing or giving bad name to the real men on ground. So they are into kidnapping. They have kidnapped so many people, and they are the team that kidnapped that everywhere monster Reverend Father Friend.
Okay, let them clear down. Clear down with them.
Just be dropping it on top.
No, don't worry about Rojo. That one, the big thing don't be removed.
Like shift.
Talk about put it away.
Yeah.
Not of cover.
Ya kuna hu. Ko hina hu. Yo fẹ́ kí lọ máa fi wọ́n ti jọba.
Ní ọmọ rẹ̀ náà yẹ o.
Báyìí ló pèsè lójú. Go catch am hanging in up.
Give them the cutlass. Oh, those cutlass, you will carry it. Open this one.
You can see the tools that they do use to do their illegal business has been also taken away from them, as they have been captured and so many of them ran away. So guys, this is the way they will be getting exposed every day, one after the other, until they are all fished out. Then the real men will be on ground and keep doing their work.
Firstly, I started bricklayer, modern block.
At where?
Ukulu.
How long have you stayed in Ukulu?
I've stayed very too much long. I came around 2012.
I stayed till now.
Yes, sir. Sometimes I travel, sometimes I come back.
Okay, so what brought you to this place now? Now you are in handcuffs. What happened?
What brought me to this place is because of kidnapping case.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Who did you kidnap?
Reverend Father, sir.
What is the name of the Reverend Father?
Sir, I don't know his name.
Who is he serving?
Serving of the monster, sir.
Speak out loud, let me hear you.
He's serving of the monster, sir.
He's serving of the monster.
Yes, sir.
You people kidnapped him.
Yes, sir.
Explain how the kidnapping took place.
Sir,
explain the kidnapping.
I I cannot just give the detail because I don't know where they went to the war, but when they come back.
Who kidnapped him?
It's Anaki and Co.
Anaki and Co, are they your boys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You sent your boys to kidnap,
sir,
and they kidnapped the Reverend Father.
Sir. They came back
with the Reverend Father.
Yes, sir. They came back with the Reverend Father. And when I went there, I saw.
Meanwhile,
yes,
from where is your camp?
At Ukulu, sir.
Where in Ukulu?
At Ukulu bush.
Inside the forest in Ukulu.
Yes, sir.
How many are you in that camp?
We're up to 16, sir.
16.
Yes, sir. Remember.
And all the people are under you.
Yes, sir.
You are the Aga.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so continue with the Reverend Father's story.
Sir.
Continue telling the story of the Reverend Father. So you go kidnapped.
So I came back and see that there is Reverend Father in the office because that place we call it office.
Okay.
So I saw that there is Reverend Father there. So when I asked them, they told me many things, everything how it take happen. So they jammed the Reverend Father on the way.
Where did they jam you?
So they did not tell me the place where they jammed me, but they said they jammed him on the way. So they had to kidnap him. So after everything, after all said and done, so the last time I see is when they dropped him. They said they have dropped him.
How much did they collect?
They said to me, they said they collected 8 million.
8 million?
Yes, that's what they told me, sir.
How many days did he stay inside the bush?
Sir, I cannot calculate the days because I don't know. Because me, I stays in the community.
Okay.
I stays in the community. Sometimes I stays in the community. If there is any information about any movement around there, we will not pull immediately and move around.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So they collected 8 million from the Reverend Father?
Yes, sir. That's what they told me, sir.
When they collected, before they collected that money, did the Reverend Father beg you?
Again, I want the world to understand that General Christopher Musa, the chief of defense...
Stephen Cross has lambasted Musa because of the atrocities the Musa boys are still doing in our land, Biafra land. Everything that they have been doing is being documented. When the time comes, it will be given to the highest authority. So Stephen Cross is here telling Musa to leave our land, to stop all these things that they have been doing in our land, all the illegality and all the things that are not supposed to do, that they have been doing for a long time in our land. So Biafrans, let's relax and praise God Almighty, who is doing these great things for us. Indeed, joy is coming. Thank you once more. Thank you everyone listening to me. This is Magnetic Gist TV. We all love you. Let's interact in our comment section. Bye.
And we say enough is enough, Musa. Enough is enough. Biafra has been declared. Biafran land is now a sovereign nation. We want you to remove all your terrorist army from our land, General Christopher Musa. I mean, I don't understand this kind of nonsense. There is war going on in the northeast, north central. Why are you not in the north, tackling Boko Haram and the insurgency going on there? There is no insurgency in the whole of the southeast. Why is Musa in Biafran land? What is so precious in that Biafran land that you are there killing our people? What is so precious? What is so precious, General Christopher Musa, I must ask you? Because our people have been killed. They are killing our people every single day. What is so special there? And the reason why we are here speaking every single day that Musa is killing our people is when we carry arms to defend ourselves. They shouldn't call us a terrorist. Although they have even prescribed the indigenous people of Biafra a terrorist. They have prescribed me and the entire Igbo race a terrorist organization. And you want the same terrorists to be in the same contraction with you called Nigeria. You went as far as declaring Nnamdi Kanu and me a terrorist. And you want us to be in that same country called Nigeria. You called me a terrorist. Let the terrorists go and develop their own state. We have where we come from. And this is the problem of Nigeria. Leave the southeast alone. Leave the Southeast alone. What is going on? Now, the other day, Canada, they refuse you visa. Didn't you get the message that the world knows what is going on in the Southeast? Didn't you get the message, General Christopher Musa? What the hell is wrong with you? Why are you killing the Southeasterners? Why are you killing the Igbos? What did the Igbo people do wrong to you? Sending missiles, sending helicopters to destroy our lands, to destroy our homes. On what ground? Is there any war going on in the Southeast? Is it where the terrorists are disturbing the villages? Southeasterners are the most peaceful people on this planet Earth. What is wrong with you, General Christopher Musa? What is wrong with you? And the terrorists, government are there. Tinubu is there watching. They are destroying Igbos, killing Igbos every single day. Every single day. Killing us. And we're tired of all this nonsense. We're tired of all this nonsense. What is wrong with General Christopher? What is wrong with the Nigerian stupid government? What's wrong with you people? Killing the Igbos. Sending helicopters and to cannot jet fighters to the Southeast. For what reason? If I may ask. For what reason, Tinubu? For what reason are you engineering the CDN of Nigeria to kill our people? For what reason? What did Igbo people do wrong to you? Are we the reason why you are called a drug lord in US? Are we the reason why you are called a certificate forger? Are we the reason? And then you are killing Igbos for no reason. Sending missiles, sending rocket launchers every single day. Igbos are dying. Nobody is talking about it. The world is just quiet. Musa, please remove your terrorist army from our checkpoint, from our road, from our land. The land is now in sovereignty. You respect sovereignty. And that is the reason why you were shouting, oh, Simon Ekpa, Simon Ekpa, Simon Ekpa is disturbing, Simon Ekpa is the menace. Now, nobody is sitting because of the Igbos dying. Nobody is sitting in National Assembly again. Nobody is conducting interview anywhere in the Southeast, in the whole of Nigeria, over the killings that is happening in the whole Southeast. And you think we'll be here, we'll be quiet? You people are completely mad, Musa. You are completely mad. All of you. The president is mad. Terrorist. What is wrong with you people? Killing our people every single day. You will never wake up in Nigeria and you will not hear bad news. What is happening? Why creating unnecessary crisis in the whole of the Southeast? If you are not benefiting from it. Tinubu's government is benefiting from this evil. A stupid man that stole power from an Igbo man came through the back door. Now start killing the same Igbos that you say you don't like. What is it? What have we Igbo people done wrong to you? This Tinubu's idiot, his own is even worse. Because Buhari even did a little. Your own is worse. Killing our people. There is no day you wake up, you will not hear bad news in the whole of the Southeast. Under this administration. And then the governors are quiet. Because all of them are slaves to the Fulanis, to the Nigerian government. They are all slaves. And when we start reacting now, they will say, oh, the Southeast, Igbos, oh. What the hell is wrong with you people? Animals. Look at a drug lord. A president that called himself Jagaban. He can't go to US. So this animal, this Tinubu cannot go to US. He cannot travel to US as we speak. And he's there destroying the Southeast as if we are the problem. They are the reason for your problem. As if we are the one that caused what is happening to you. A stupid man, a useless president of Nigeria called the drug lord Tinubu. Trying to use $2.7 million to clear his name from the FBI terrorist file. Useless man. You are killing Igbos for what? There is no war going on in the southeast. You are just using helicopters to kill innocent people that are not armed. Are you not mad? Animals. They've not started refusing you people visa. This one is just the beginning. It is just the beginning. You rushed and deceived Finland. Oh, Simon Ekpa. Today you cannot come to that same Finland to defend all the allegations. If they burn any one of the government of Nigeria, well, come to Finland and come and defend all the nonsense allegations over our prime minister. If they burn you, well, come now. Why are you people now running? After submitting evidence through internet, why are you now running? Because you know you are not clean. You know you are not clean. Nigerian government is not clean. Terrorists everywhere, terrorizing the whole of the southeast. You have not that there is war going on there. The terrorists have taken almost all the villages in the whole of the north. You are not combating them. You are not shooting rocket launchers there, missiles from plane. You are in the southeast, terrorizing the whole of the southeast. You stupid animals. That's why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu called Nigeria a zoo. Even zoo is even better. Because all the animals knows their lane. Nigeria does not know their boundary. Stupid country. Very useless man indeed. Biafrans, I'm so angry this morning. These people are all animals, killing our people every single day. But that's 60 days. After that 60 days, because we want to follow the due process to get to you people. And we are coming.
This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.